Shine crew, how are you? It is Helen here. I am a little bit late going live. I am away. I've just flown from where I live in South Australia to another state in Australia called Queensland, and plane was a little bit delayed and I'm a little bit late going live. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, which I mentioned earlier in the week, is Facebook groups. I get a lot of questions regarding Facebook groups and whether you should start one. There are some people out there that say as soon as you possibly can start a Facebook group, and I don't tend to agree. So I want to have that conversation with you guys today. If anyone's here with me live, I know it's spontaneous, it wasn't scheduled because I am traveling at the moment, then please say hello, let me know that you're here, let me know that you can hear me. More importantly, in the car here, I'm just in the back of an Uber on the way from the airport to SeaWorld, if any of you know where that is. I'm at a conference for the next, for the weekend. So I'm still going live tomorrow because I want to talk to you guys about, I don't know whether you've heard about it or not, but Mark Zuckerberg, head of Facebook, is actually rolling out a subscription-based verification, so it's more protection for our Facebook accounts, but he's going to make us pay. So I just want to have a little discussion with you guys about that. But I will be at the conference tomorrow, so I'm not sure if I'm doing it early or late or whatever, so just catch the replay when you get a chance. So let me see, you can hear me okay, Tina? Hello, Andrea, thank you for letting me know that you can see me and hear me okay. So how many of you have ever thought about starting a Facebook group? Has anyone ever advised you to start a Facebook group? Have you ever heard like a guru saying as soon as you can start a Facebook group, that would be a really good thing? I'd love to know your comments in, how you sit with Facebook groups. So I'm going to give you my perspective and my experience. I had a few Facebook groups early on. I tried different things and didn't work very well. And here's the reason why. The question that I would put to you is, what's the purpose of the group? Is there anyone that you're working with that already has a group that you can tap into? And here's what I mean by that. If your purpose for a Facebook group is for your network marketing business, like social selling company, that kind of thing, do you have an upline or another member of your team that's already got a group that you can tap into? So that's one thing. The other thing is, do you have a brand on social media? Are you growing a brand of your own? If you are, then at some stage you might want a group to funnel people into. So when somebody raises their hand and says, yeah, I'd like to join your group, they're highly qualified prospects, because no one's going to join a group that doesn't want to be there. Well, hopefully. So if you've got a makeup group, then anybody that's joining like a makeup group or a skincare or anti-aging or health and wellness and whatever, you would think the people that are joining the group are people that are into that topic. So you can end up with highly qualified prospects, which is awesome. You can nurture that relationship, you can build rapport, you can give value to those people and really strengthen that relationship. So that's awesome. The question I would ask you, though, going back to what's the purpose of the group? Is it for your actual network marketing business, or is it for building your brand? If it's for your actual network marketing business, I would highly recommend you tap into groups that already exist, if they do. If they don't, be a leader and create your own. You just need to get volume in there pretty quickly, because there's nothing worse than a dead group. What I see a lot of people do is listen to leaders say, right, you don't worry about business pages, create a group. And that's another discussion again, business pages versus groups. But then every person has got a group with only 20 people in it, 50 people in it, 100 people in it, 200 people in it. So there's a whole lot of people with a whole lot of groups with a very similar purpose with nobody in them. So the last thing you want is a group with very few people in it that turns into a dead group that you've got to try to nurture and get people to respond and engage. And it's really hard work, guys. So here's what I did. Somebody gave me a really good piece of advice a few years ago and said, you don't need a group to create a sense of community. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So I started creating a sense of community on my business page. Now, business pages aren't as big now as they used to be, so I'm not necessarily saying start a business page, but even on your personal profile, create a sense of community. What do you stand for? What value do you bring to people? And get people to follow you for a particular purpose, okay? When you know you go live or you post, and there's quite a number of people there that are following you for that advice, that value, that purpose, then maybe you might want to funnel them into a group. So what I did is I created a sense of community on my business page. So you could treat a personal profile the same way. When I was going live, I knew there were people that were showing up with me. I was getting engagement on my posts. Like, there were some people following me. So when I started and some of you might be watching from this group because I'm broadcasting in 3 different places at the moment. When I started my social media strategies group, when I opened that, 200 people joined that group within 72 hours because I already had a following of sorts. Wasn't huge, but I already had some people that were tuning in and listening to what I had to say, listening to the value that I was bringing. So this is what I recommend. Just because somebody says start a group because that's how you create a sense of community, I do agree. Groups are amazing, and you can build rapport and build a sense of community and build relationships and get great engagement. But where's your starting point? If you don't have anything going on your socials, then that's where you need to start. Like, create a bit of a presence, a bit of a brand for yourself, whether that's on your personal profile or a business page, wherever, and stand for something. For me, I stand for, helping you guys build your businesses online through social media. We don't want to hassle everybody about our businesses. We want to attract people to us. I talk about attraction marketing all the time. You guys know that. That's why you turn up and listen to me, hopefully. So I would give value and give value and give value. And eventually people start following you for that particular purpose. Once you've got that, then you can funnel them into a group and nurture the group. But just remember, when you start a group, you've got to put content in that group. You've got to go live in the group. You've got to nurture the group. You've got to build a sense of community in that group. So it takes hard work. And the last thing you want is everybody starting little groups of their own with a similar purpose, with not much going on in the group, and then you're trying to resurrect a dead group. So I just hope this conversation helps, because I've seen a couple of really high profile people in recent times even run challenges and boot camps similar to mine, that kind of thing. And it's to start a group. Like, I'm going to teach you how, right? Just start a group, whack up a banner, invite some people to it, and away you go. It's not that simple to start a group, and I wouldn't recommend doing that, because you could end up with a group with only like 50 people in it, and then what? So you want to launch a group, and you want to have something to launch, like a purpose, a brand behind it. And you want to get a group of people in there at the one time. So you actually launch a group, don't open a group. That's the big difference that I would recommend, if you can remember that. Don't just open a group, launch a group. Have some expectation to your group. Like, I led up to it for a number of weeks. It's like, I'm starting a group. This is going to be the purpose of it. If you get in the first 72 hours, this is the special training I'm going to do for you guys. And you can be a founding member and all these things. Like, I've made a big deal out of it. And as a result, over 200 people join that group in the first 72 hours. And that's pretty good for a group. So you don't want to just open a group and invite one person and then another person and then another person, and your group painstakingly grows very, very slowly. So it's really hard to get engagement in a group like that. So I'm just going to check your comments here. How are you guys? I can't really see. As you can tell, I'm in a car. I'm just going to check your comments here. Hey, Jane, how are you? Andrew, you've heard that. Cool, Jane. I used to have one in my former business. It's still open, but I haven't gone there in a while. Not sure what to do with it. So if you've already got a group that's gone dead, here's a couple of recommendations. If you want them to go elsewhere, put a pinned post up at the top of the group and say, this group is temporarily paused or closed, or whatever. Hang out with me here, and have a link to your personal profile, or have a link to a business page, like whatever you've got going on. Redirect people and have a post pinned to the top redirecting people, rather than just leaving it. Okay. The other thing is, if you want to resurrect it, you can relaunch a group at any time, Jane. So what I would recommend, though, is a new banner, some excitement, probably a new branding message, something like that. So if you want to get it going again, then you can absolutely relaunch an existing group. There's just a bit of a strategy around it, and you want to make a bit of hype around it, do a special training, in there to get people interested, engaged, and those kind of things. So hopefully that helps. Hey, Joanne, how are you? Yeah, engaging with hat. And that's, Jane, why a lot of people leave their groups. Will leave their groups stagnant. And you just don't want to do that. It's not good for you, your influence, your reputation, growing a brand, all those kind of things. Hello, Beth. How are you? Hey, Cherie. How are you? Good to see you here. Yeah, I'm rolling. So, oops, hang on. I put my finger on the wrong thing there. So, it's just a quick live today to just sort of address that, because there are people in some network marketing companies where they get advised, start a group. But unless you've got a bit of a following, you've got a bit of a brand going, those kind of things, it may not be worth your while, and you'll end up with, leaving a group like Jane was sort of talking about just then. So there's strategies around a group. For those of you in my coaching community, I've got a whole groups boot camp. Hours worth of training just on groups. So if you're in my coaching community, you can, for annual members and life members, you can get access to that groups boot camp if you need some more information around that, or just ask questions in the coaching community around that. But don't jump too quickly with starting up groups, guys, because they're a lot of effort. You want them to work when you do them. You don't want them to die a slow death, if you know what I mean. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. No worries, Jane, my pleasure. So tomorrow, as I said, I'm going to go live at some stage and share with you guys. Do you know what I'm talking about with Mark Zuckerberg? If you don't know who he is, he created Facebook. He's made an announcement just recently, and interestingly, it's rolling out in Australia and New Zealand first, and other countries to follow. But there's a lot of talk about the security, and I did a live for you guys last week. I think it was the top, what was it? I can't even remember how many I did. 12 or 15 tips to make sure your Facebook is secure. So he's bringing out a new verification, so we can verify our accounts and have like a stronger security. But it's going to be a subscription-based thing, and he's going to make us pay if we want the privilege. So I just want to share with you guys tomorrow more about what that is and whether you should look into it when it rolls out to you and those kind of things. Just the pros and cons. I'm still looking into it myself. Okay, so it's not quite the sunny Queensland. It should be here. It's overcast and actually raining a little bit at the moment, but I think the weather's getting better over the next couple of days. So I'm here for, what are my glasses doing? Falling off my head. I'm here for the next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, going home Sunday. But I'll see you guys live tomorrow. Thank you for joining me today and finding me, because I am late. I wasn't on time, sorry guys. But I'll keep you posted. Check out the photos on my personal profile and in my stories for all the fun that's going to happen over the next few days. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.